their consultants also said that they should change the master plan.
Yes, talk about that,
Well,
because that's another protection that we thought we had. Talk
Yeah.
about that master plan.
Well, essentially, it's called the PROS plan, and it's done every 5 years, and it's also done so that the Parks Department city would qualify for whatever grants and funding that might come along, and it covers the entire city, and it's very detailed, and essentially just it says about the Huron River Valley that it should be, protected, and that things like that are not permitted now or that weren't permitted because the city claims to have immunity to their own regulations, to their own zoning laws. And this has been a big part of what's driven this whole thing. They can make any changes they want at any time, and there's no standards. The only standards that they have to follow now is what they think might be the highest and best use of a piece of property.
Yes.
So that's left parkland open to being any number of things, from housing to, I even think I saw in there, like perhaps like a restaurant or something that was done in partner with the city, because it only applies to city land. Now the city doesn't really, in a sense, recognize parks anymore. They only recognize public land. And so everything is thrown in the same container. And unfortunately for parks, that it's easier to sell, I think, an idea that, like the intermodal transit facility, because it has some sort of modern take with it, that I think one person called it was sexy.
Yeah.
Well, parks may not be sexy, but they certainly are loved and used by a lot of the citizens in town. And I hope that they will see that really there's no protection for parks. If someone tells you that parks are protected, you can tell them that they're a liar in my own mind. And I think that we can stand by that and prove that because of these changes that have been made and how they're directed, and how really a lot of very powerful entities and powerful people are behind this.
So, and when we talk about, so we've said that the vote for no sale is not protection. Now you've just said that Chapter 55 of zoning is not protection because of their immunity, and they can do. The PROS plan is not giving them any protection either.
The feeling is, I think some of the thought is that if the university decides to build it entirely with their own money, then they don't have to worry about trying to follow any kind of the federal guidelines. There won't be any need to change the master plan. It's not going to be required to please some other agencies. So the door is open now for essentially, and I think it's very close to it, that the university will pay for the first phase essentially to avoid having to answer to tough federal laws like NEPA and that prohibit a lot of the use of areas that are already parkland, dedicated parkland, open space, and things like that.
So what about the last of the 4 protections is the Park Advisory Commission. Can you talk about what can they do? What have they done?
Well,
because that was another, in my view, people say, well, if the commission doesn't want it, they can help us.
Well, first let me say that I believe, anyhow, my belief is that the Parks Advisory Commission has been sort of marginalized by the city, not utilized, not, they're not in a sense, they're not used to dealing with these incredibly difficult issues and about the, really the salvation of our parkland. And I think that when I gave a presentation to them in February, and I warned them that this was a lousy deal. It is a lousy deal if you just look at it in a dollar and cents. The city gains really nothing. The parks gain really nothing. It's all directed at the university, and the taxpayers are going to end up having to probably eventually pay for a lot of this, if not the garage itself, the transportation issue. So you know, I think that you know, it's going to be tough. They don't the PAC. I don't think that they caught on that this is a crucial, seminal issue that has to be decided, and it's going to affect the entire park system for a long time. So, I don't think that they're tackling more the dollar and cents end of it than they are, you know, the real issue in my mind.
The focus on the loss of parkland, which seems to be the key issue.